Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be for you. I am your host, the Layback Gamer, and today is the day that I finally kick off the PS2 games that were previewed last week. Since then, I have added a few more into the roster, some of which I said last week that I would be adding, and I think there's a few others in there that I didn't say I was going to, but I have added them in just to add a few more games to this series. There will be a total of 14 games, 14 or 15. I might give or take one. So we got quite a ways to go before we're completed the series, and I hope you guys enjoy every step of the way. Before I kick things off and reveal the order of which I will be playing this in, I'd like to give shoutouts to all those out there who submitted Ratchet and Clank challenges for me to do while we play those series. As of right now, I am unsure of which or who submitted the challenges, but I will make sure during the series that they appear that I will give full mentions, full shoutouts to them, and thank them once again for submitting the challenge. I'm going to be using every single one of them, so to those of you who have submitted a challenge, you will at some point get shouted out, likely at the very beginning of the series and at the very end for the challenges, and as a thanks once again. Now, on to the order of these games that I will be playing them in. I'm not going to play them as Ratchet and Clank 1, 2, 3, then Sly E. Cooper 1, 2, 3, and Jak Daxter 1, 2, 3. Instead, I will be doing it as Ratchet and Clank 1, Jak and Daxter 1, Sly Cooper 1, Ratchet and Clank 2, Jak and Daxter 2, etc., etc., etc. I think the order there makes itself pretty self-explanatory. And the reason for this is it gives you guys time to maybe suggest some series specific stuff that I could do or can change for the next series. That way I can apply it there and throughout the entire video. Like I said, I'm fairly certain I'm going to be recording, uh, episodes to go for every other day releases. That might change if life changes. It may be eventually changed to one every day, which is pretty good for you guys, in addition to the Elder Scrolls Legends video that will be released daily. And the other reasoning is, well, I personally want to get a good variety in there. That way I'm not seeing the same characters back to back to back. Otherwise, to me, that would get a little stale. So I'm doing that for you guys, as well as a bit for myself. And finally, without further ado, here are the order that I will be playing these games in. Starting off with our number one game, it is going to be, of course, Ratchet and Clank. This is one of the few games I've had since the day, well, not the day, the year it was released. So this guy is still from 2002, and I've kept it all these years. Disc still works really well, and probably one of my most favorite. Excuse me, that was really rude. That was also really rude. One of my perhaps all-time favorite games, although it does out of all of them in the series, this is not my number one game. This is actually my number two. It came just shy of another game which you will see in this preview, and mainly because I enjoyed the other game so much because I beat it so much later on. This one was more of I beat this initially in my life. Of course, not the year it came out in, but I did beat it a little bit along the line. Another version of Ratchet and Clank, which I won't reveal just yet, but I beat that one much, much later. I think a couple of years after I beat this guy, I was finally able to beat the Ratchet and Clank that you guys will see and hear all about. So this is my number two for all-time favorite games, and I can't wait to play it as our number one game. Number two game is Jak and Daxter, a game out of all of them, well, not out of all of them, but out of all the ones that I've played, this is the one I've played the least of. I think I only ever played the first island, and it was because my friend had it, and I was over at his house. I found it to be a pretty good game from what he saw of it. I heard that, and from a few people, that this game and the rest of the series are also really good. And while I don't have that high of expectations, I can't wait to play this game. It is going to be a blast. And I do apologize if there are any price tags on any of these games. Um, yeah, that's just basically what I paid for it. I don't mind paying for it because I know that I'm going to probably play this game over and over again. Or at least I'm hoping so. At the end, of course, we'll see if this manages to break into my number one. Well, not number one. We'll see if it breaks into my top 5 games. It's got a lot to live up to, but I'm confident that it can live up to it. Sly Cooper was the second game ever that I played, the second video game ever. I've played quite a few other games that weren't on video. And I also fell in love with this series. Unfortunately, I never actually continued from this point onward. Well, I played a bit of the second game, but I never really got hooked into it as much just because I could never beat that one of the stages. And it was very early on, and it kind of ruined my experience. And then to top it all off, we had to get rid of our PS2 and get a PS3. And with the PS2 went a lot of our games. Sly Cooper, I recently, and kind of unfortunately, got rid of my copy of it. Nope. Nope. No. I originally had gotten rid of my copy of it, so I had to go out and purchase another one. I was okay with it, as this is another classic to me. Out of all-time games, I would say this is perhaps my I'm going to say number 5. The first Ratchet and Clank would make it my number 2 all-time games. And I'll tell you right now, my number 3 is actually a tie between Elder Scrolls Skyrim and Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I won't tell you why, but I love playing those games. Back to the point, Sly Cooper, awesome title, can't wait to play it again. Third game in our lineup. I'm sorry, I meant to stop it when Oh, I just noticed that I kept it going. Whoops, my bad. But yeah, you guys see it now. It's Jack 2. I don't really have too much to say on this game, mainly because this is one of the few games in this list that I haven't already played. However, like Jack 1, I'm told this is a very good game. I'm very excited to play this. And yeah, I don't have too much to say on it. Next up, we have the infamous Sly 2 Band of Thieves. Why is it infamous? Well, this was the one game that I got stumped on the most. And why is it the most? Well, it got to the point where I couldn't beat it. Yeah, I couldn't get by the first stage. There was one of the missions, I forget which mission, and I could never do it. And to this day, it has shamed me a little bit every time I think of this. But during this playthrough, I'm going to redeem my childhood by playing and beating Sly 2 Band of Thieves as our number 6 game. This is going to be awesome. Kicking at our 7th game is going to be Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal. Now, this one, out of the original 3, is my least favorite. It is still a great game, but the first 2 captured me a lot more. And out of all the series, it ranks a little bit lower. It doesn't come in the number 3rd spot. That actually is A Crack in Time. which falls just behind Ratchet & Clank 1, only because Ratchet & Clank 1 was the first game I've ever played, so it holds a dear place in my heart. That's not to say that I'm not saying Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal was a horrible game. It actually is still a really good game. Top 5 all-time Ratchet & Clank favorites, and can't wait to play this game too. I haven't beaten this one in a while, unlike Ratchet & Clank 1, 2, and the rest of them for the PS2. So I'm really hyped to get through 100%. Kicking off at our number 8 spot is Jak 3. I haven't exactly got to play through this. I'm not sure how much you may have heard until it got cut off. I think I accidentally double tapped the record button, so I'm just going to repeat what I said the previous time off camera, or what I think it might have been off camera back on camera. But I'm once again very stoked to play the Jak and Daxter series. I'm going to give one honorable mention before moving on, but that's the Daxter game. And sadly, I couldn't find that for the PS2. It is a PSP only game, which, my opinion, Naughty Dog or whoever created Daxter, missed opportunity. Definitely should have released it for PS2. I love the Daxter game, and if I can find a way to put my PSP screen onto a TV screen and then capture it on video, I will definitely do that for you guys, and it will come before our final game. But yeah, just want to give that honorable mention. At the end of all this, I will tell you guys what I think of the Jak and Daxter series, after I've played them, of course, and just give you guys a review on all the other games. And we come to the final game that I have never played before. What game am I talking about? Obviously, Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves. I have watched the playthrough of this, so sadly I've spoiled this for myself. I haven't done it for the Jak or Daxter series, so that's going to be completely new to me. However, the Sly Cooper series, I have already spoiled for myself, so nothing's going to be a complete surprise to me. Maybe for the exception of how hard it potentially is to get money to purchase stuff in this game. How hard it is to pull off some of the moves that I've seen some people pull off. So I'm very excited to kick off with, or not kick off, as our number 9 game to be Sly 3 Honor Amongst Thieves, and the closing game for the Sly Cooper series. Just like Jak 3 is the potential close-off to the Jak and Daxter series. I'm not sure how many of you guys have played this game, and I'm not sure how many of you guys enjoy this game, but on our number 10 we have Ratchet Deadlock. Now, this is the 4th game, technically, it's not of the original trilogy, but it's still there. I'm not sure exactly where this game would fit in, really. It's definitely a nice game. I love it a lot, and this might be one of the only games that I decide to co-op with my brother. We might do a playthrough of it together. It might be just me on my own. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for Ratchet Deadlock. All I know is that getting 100% on this game is going to be a little harder than getting 100% on the other Ratchet & Clanks or any of the Sly Cooper games. Maybe combined of the Sly Cooper trilogy. I'm not sure. I'd have to see how hard it is to get money in the Sly Cooper trilogy. For now, I think this game might be the hardest to get 100% on, and quite frankly, I am ready to do it within the time limit. Here we are. A game that's not part of the trilogies that I've been previewing off. It is Pac-Man World 2. Probably, in my opinion, winner of the best music out of all the games that I will be previewing. That's my opinion. It's not fact. It's just opinion. If you guys think any of the other games are... Excuse me, that's rude. I know I've done that a few times this video, and I apologize for that. I ate before I started this. But if you guys want to dispute this with me in the comment section of this video not having the best music out of all of them, feel free to. I will argue this game for days. Gameplay wise, very, very simple. I like it. It is the third game that I've ever played in my life, and it is always fun to go back to. I do have a couple of notes, and at the end of the preview, and the Pac-Man series falls in a note. But, and I say but, what could be better than Pac-Man 2? Well, Pac-Man World 3. Coming up right after this. If you'll notice, and this was a really cool fact when I got it from the game store, unfortunately, I was a little stupid in removing the price tag from it, but this game still has the original packaging around it. That's right, it still has the original wrapping around it that you would get with every game. So this is an untouched game. It's never seen the light of a console before, and we're about to take the honor on perhaps one of the very few games out there, throwing it in the system and playing it for its very first time. I cannot wait. I'm very upset I damaged it when I was trying to take the tag off. This was the game that made me say, I'm not going to take the tags off of any other game because, well, look what happened. I ripped some of it off, which is sad because I was going to, the day that we started this game, I was going to show me opening this game up from the packaging. But you know what? I'm still gonna say we're opening it up from the packaging on the day because I didn't actually crack that case open. So I'm very hyped. This to me was an excellent find, and I can't wait to play this game. Now, we had Deadlock in this series, so it would be a crime not to include Ratchet & Clank Size Matters. This game came out, for me, I played on it on the PSP version first, and I love this game. Ratchet & Clank, I have a huge love for. I enjoy playing all of their games, with the exception of the newest one, which I think did not do so well. But, you know, statistics can argue against me. It's a personal opinion, once again. Don't go on a witch hunt in the comments section. We will be playing through this game as well. I'm not 100% sure if getting 100% on it is possible. I wasn't able to do it on the PSP version, and I've had all this time to do it. There's one armor set, and it's the very final one that still eludes me. I just don't know how you get it. I've played through the game 4 or 5 times on one account, so I know I know the game. I knew the game very well back then. Maybe there was something I'm missing. If there is, let me know in the comment section below, and I will definitely try to get it if it's within my means. And if it's not, then 100% is going to exclude this armor set, which is doing the game a bit of an injustice, but there's not much I can really do with it. And as a final game in the series, unless we get Daxter or Ratchet & Clank 2, or not Ratchet & Clank 2, Secret Agent Clank on the PSP to work, this will be our final game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monster Coliseum. This was another game, this was one of the few games that I rented from a store and fell in love with. I eventually convinced my parents to buy it, and I love playing this game. I've only ever 100%ed this one time, and that was a monumentum effort. This might be the one game where I'm going to try to play to 100% and not be able to do for certain. And in the background, I do have the opening title page of it, so I'm just going to let you guys hear it off. This is our final game. I'm hoping you guys can see all the video those that or not all the videos, all the games that I am going to be playing. If you can't, I do apologize. What I've got right now is I've got them all lined up at the moment in order to be able to mention a few things that I didn't put into the previous video, but I have had some time to put some thought into it. As of this moment, I don't have a capture card, so unfortunately the videos are going to be coming out the same as what my Elder Scrolls Legends videos are currently coming out as. I'm very sorry about this. I have found one that I really want. Unfortunately, it's a little out of my price range, so I gotta work a little harder at my job in order to get enough money to be able to afford it. For Pac-Man's World 2 and 3, since it will have the time limitation applied to it, but I'm not going to try for 100%. Pac-Man World 2, while I can do most of it in 100%, there are a few levels, particularly the final levels, or the final state area of the game before you fight the last boss. I will not be attempting to get 100% on for that. Reason being, I've tried once before, it took me well over 4 hours, constant deaths. I had to leave my game at a point in time in fear of, because I was a lot younger when I did this, I had to leave as I thought I was going to destroy my controller. It rage-induced me that much, so I will not be putting myself through that stress. If it happens, it happens, and the same rules apply for Pac-Man World 3. I've never gotten 100% in Pac-Man World 3. I will try my best to get as much as I can within the time, but I don't make any promises that we're going to do 100%. For the Ratchet and Clank games, and I'm going to write it as rule for 100% completion. 100% completion means beating the game for a second time, as most of the items that you can get, you can only get through a second playthrough. So any additional weapon upgrades that might happen, any collectibles, any potential rhino guns that might happen, I'll be going through that game. Note, Ratchet Deadlock, I will not be buying copious amounts of mods for it, even though I don't know if you can cap out how many you have. But I will not be doing that. It does not count as 100% completion, and that is the only game that skill points will also not account for, because I think there's well over 1,000 skill points in that game, and it would take me a long time. Like I said, for the Pac-Man series, I will try my best to get them all done, but I'm not putting it as one of the rules for 100% completion, and it only applies to Deadlock. So skill points still applies for every other game. Some of the Ratchet & Clank challenges, and this is the part that might confuse some people, some of them will only be for the first run-through of the game. Some of them will only be for the second run-through. And some of them will be for both run-throughs. Oh god, I can't English goodly today. Let's reset. I gotta reset the music. That's not the one I wanted. What was my train of thought? Oh, yes. In the beginning of each video, I will state which challenges am I using and where they're being applied to. In each one, I've made sure to include one challenge that will go through both playthroughs, but any other challenges will be either one, both, or the second. And finally, and this one might interest you guys a little bit, for the Sly Cooper series, I am considering putting some extra challenges added onto that one. If you think there is one that you would recommend doing, or if you can come up with one, let me know in the comments section below. Do note that if you guys want to participate in this must be a challenge that cannot inhibit me from getting 100% in this game. So something like don't collect any coins. I won't be doing that. Well, I might do that for the first game. Well, that's going to be very, very hard. Yeah, I won't be doing that challenge, but if somebody said don't collect any coins, I would say I can't do that, as in the second and third game, it would prevent me from getting 100% in that one. So I wouldn't be able to do that. But something small like, before, say, you must find all bottles in the level, you must find, oh god, I can't talk. You must play through a level 3 times. One will be to get the key, another will be to do to get the bottles, and the third will be the time run. You must play each level 3 times before you can move on to the final boss of that area. A challenge like that. Yes, it takes up a little more time, but I don't mind doing that. And yeah, let me know if you want me to use challenges like that. So that's all the notes that I have for this time, for this. And now on to the outro. That's everything that I've got to say for this video. The first Ratchet & Clank episode will be out tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. I got work tomorrow, so we're going to be going for that. But for now, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time for our epic Ratchet & Clank PS2 playthrough.